So there's a job out there that I think every single young engineer should know about, especially when you're immediately graduating colleges. It's one that will immediately boost your career and it forces companies to invest in you and into your development. And it'll basically be like you're playing a video game and you're just gaining double XP compared to everybody else you're playing with. And so I've been in a job like this for the past year. And what I'm talking about is engineering rotational development programs. So, what is a rotational program? It's basically where companies will put you in different roles, different locations, and it's usually a program that lasts 1 to even 4 years, I've seen up to. And they basically just put you in a supply chain role, a manufacturing role, a supervisor role, a quality role, and they'll put you in each one of those different roles for a set period of time, usually across different locations. You could be all over the United States, all over the world, and it just gives you multiple experience in different areas, and it gives you a full sense of the business, as well as lets you see different facilities within the company and different locations as well. So why do companies actually do this? If you look around, pretty much all Fortune 500 companies have some kind of rotational program like this, whether it's in finance, engineering, or even human resources or business. It's kind of something that all companies copy because it just works really well. And it's basically them choosing to invest in young graduates or young professionals. And they basically just want to, they see potential in them and they want to invest in it immediately. And they want to send them to learn the entire business from beginning to end. And so that way they can add value in 3 to 4 years so much higher than they would have if they just started in a traditional uh, fresh out college grad role within the company. So another thing to note is these rotations can be anywhere from like 6 months to a year. And one thing that companies will tell you is you're not really going to gain a lot of experience. You're not really going to be able to add a lot of value within 6 months to a year. Some people will say that it takes 6 months just to even learn a role, let alone be able to add value in a role. So the companies know straight up they're not going to get a ton of value, almost like an intern. They know they're not going to get a ton of value in that short period of time that you're in your role. They just want to expose you to a bunch of changes, see how you adapt, how you handle it, and kind of push you out of your comfort zone and really learn to grow from it. Because basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to foster you for a management and leadership role later within the company. So why is this good for you? It's good for you, obviously, because you get to learn a bunch of different things. It's really good if you don't know exactly what you want to do. So if you did mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, even supply chain, or like a human resources or finance role, and you don't really know exactly what you want to do, these rotational programs are great to get into because I know for me, I've kind of found out I don't really love being a manufacturing engineer tied to one specific product line. I much more just generally like to work on projects across the entire facility. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't do a rotational program. Another thing is you get to learn the business front and back. You're not limited to just knowing what happens on the production floor. You wouldn't be just limited to what it's like whenever it's finished and has to get sent out to the customer. You kind of get to see everything from beginning to end of the product. And that just gives you a lot of knowledge, especially when you learn more of the financial side and how companies are run. Additionally, this really boosts your image within the company that you did the program with. Usually, these programs are kind of like the Navy SEALs for these companies. And once you graduate the rotational program, you can pretty much choose your job once you finish, and you'll be highly coveted, especially if you did a good job in your rotations. That being said, even if you aren't a one company person, you can very easily graduate the program and say, hey, look, I have manufacturing, quality, supervisor, and supply chain experience. The companies, if you're looking to job hop, will definitely pay you handsomely for that, and you can kind of pick which one of the four you like the most and just kind of specialize in that with a different company. So every company kind of has a different name. Some will be global rotational development programs, operations leadership development programs, engineering development programs, finance development programs, trainee programs. The name doesn't really matter. Just when you're looking for jobs, look for companies that are kind of some kind of developmental role, and then they'll usually be, like I said, from 1 to 4 years, and then just kind of find one that fits the best for you. Most of these jobs are typically looking for industrial engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, or I've even seen business students, especially towards the supply chain side. So I would definitely recommend going for these, as they're going to give you kind of like that flexibility and really push you out of your comfort zone. One thing that I really enjoyed about it is I'm kind of a small town guy, and I know I'm not going to move unless somebody makes me. So I purposely picked a job out of college that was going to make me move, and I get to move to different places that I never would have lived beforehand. And my company is pretty global, so there's like the opportunity of going to different countries in the future when I finish the program. After I finish up my stint, that has to be in the United States, so that's very exciting as well. I will say most of the time, what companies are looking for in people that are applying to these programs is they're looking for people that are very well spoken, and not necessarily the smartest people in the room and in your class, but it's more so the ones that are more outgoing, present very well, and are very easy to talk to. Not necessarily the super technical minded people. Obviously, this is for somebody who's kind of well rounded and doesn't know exactly what they want to do yet, but they know how to add value where they are, and they're very adaptive. And that's kind of what these companies are looking for. So if that kind of sounds like you, this would be the perfect role for you. And it just will kind of push you to your comfort zone and really get the max out of you. So, kind of talking a little bit about my experience in my rotational program, I've just, like I said, finished my first year, and I did a manufacturing engineering rotation for 6 months, and then I did a quality rotation for 6 months. And that was both at the same facility. And it was a lot of fun because this facility is only about a year or two old. It was opened in 2023. So I started in 2025, and there was so much to be done, so many processes to define, so many to improve. So it really tested me as a manufacturing engineer, having to adapt so quickly and learn a product so quickly, because you're only in that role for 6 months. You don't have the luxury of waiting around 3 months to kind of figure out what's going on. So you really just have to learn on the fly and really just get it, go out there, talk to people, meet people, and really understand the product and figure out how you can add value immediately as a manufacturing engineer. And also as a quality engineer, is you just have to quickly learn, okay, these are the procedures we have to follow, these are our guidelines, these are our checklists, we have to stay true to these, to our QMS policies and everything like that. You just learn about so much so quickly that you kind of just get bits and pieces of everything, and then you're kind of forced to go on to the next role. So it's like, I've noticed as soon as you start to get comfortable and feel like you have a idea of what's going on, your 6 months are over and you have to go on to the next place. So I'm very excited. My next two roles will be in a facility in Kansas, and I'll be able to do a supervisor role, which can either be in the warehouse and quality and production. It doesn't really matter as long as it's just supervising a team. And then it would be a materials rotation. So think like supply chain, procurement, planning, logistics, kind of anything within that bucket. So, and then I'll finish the program, and it'll be up to me to kind of choose what path I want to follow and where I want to go from there. So if you're a young graduate or especially an engineering student, I definitely recommend you to look into rotational programs and see if they're a good fit for you. Thanks.